Just tell us about the ones you want us to pick. Okay, it's brief. Ladies.
Ke Ms. Riah Phiyega, CEO and Executive Director of Safer South Africa, and CEO of Women's Development Business Trust, and Chairperson of the Workers' Life Insurance Academy. Ke bashumi, ke bona. So, from what I've researched, I've noticed you not deviating much from your previous role. Your previous role as the National Commissioner of the SAPS into becoming the CEO of the Safer South Africa. How did the transition, or what did the transition teach you from being the Commissioner of SAPS into coming in as Safer South Africa?
You know, the one thing night is that
Yes.
it is Shakespeare who says, life is just but a stage.
Sure.
And on that stage, you act. So at any given time, you have to receive the script that you're given. If the script is that now you are a mother, you have twins and babies,
Sure.
take the script, be on the stage, and act that stage. And when I came to the police, it was another stage.
Sure.
It was followed by many other stages, and it had its own script.
Yeah.
At any given time, I receive the script, I study the script, I act, and when that act finishes, it is the end. I bow and I receive the next script that says, now you're in Safer South Africa Foundation, you're a retired person who's giving back, but you're in Safer South Africa Foundation, you are in the Women's Development Business Bank. It's a new script.
Yeah.
And you say, what do I have? I've been given talents.
Yeah.
I've been given abilities. How do I apply them to that script? So for me, that's how I manage transitions in life all along. To say, I have talents which are always with me, and I have ability which came with me as a gift of life, and then I received a script, and I act that script. When the act ends, I put the full stop, and I receive the next script.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I like that. And then I love the fact that you are within the Safer South Africa, right? Foundation. So what impact has Safer South Africa Foundation has played with regards to the plight that we are fighting, with regards to gender-based violence, particularly against women and children? How has Safer South Africa Foundation influenced and advocated for that space?
Thank you very much for that question.
Sure.
I'll start off by saying acts that are criminal in nature are learned. And I then immediately moved to say, no child is born a criminal.
Sure.
Somewhere in their interaction with life, they're socialized into those criminogenic type behaviors.
Yeah.
Somewhere in their life, you know, they always say, even at school, they say a school is a microcosm of society. So the things that you see in society, you will see in schools. So if that is the case, and you talk to correctional service people, they'll tell you that jails are full of young people. More than 50% of their population is young people. So the question is, somebody else has been successful in inducting these children, in socializing them through what they saw, through what they learned, through what they experienced, through what they were influenced into that criminogenic behavior. It means me and you who are upright should also enter the fray. How do we enter the fray? We enter the fray by imparting awareness and knowledge to say there are other ways you can fill your table with, and make better choices about your life. So from Safer South Africa Foundation, we're saying teach them young
Okay.
to start saying you can choose not to harm any other person. You can understand issues of consent to start saying, if I see this beautiful woman, I can talk to her. If she says no, it is her answer.
Sure.
Let me learn to accept that. You teach the young girls to say, remember, having relationships and even intimate relationships is natural.
Yeah.
But you choose when to have a child,
Yeah.
those type of things,
Yeah.
because we are starting to say issues such as statutory rapes, then we are able to reduce them because you've given the young girl agency and the ability to say no. You've given the young men agency and the ability to understand a no for what it stands for. So we invest in what we call prevention,
Okay.
better than cure. Teach them young so that they choose better, and therefore you contribute towards a community of people who choose not to do crime, who choose not to be involved in gender-based violence, because what? They understand, they are aware, and they have knowledge. So we're coming from that perspective in terms of Safer South Africa Foundation.
Beautiful. And I've got my last two questions. So the phrase Bashumi Gibona Bashumi is a very big phrase that you use a lot. And I would regard that and put it maybe closer to the worker's life company or insurance company, right? Since you embrace this phrase so much, and since you are the CEO at Workers Life,
The chairperson.
yes, chairperson at Workers Life Insurance Company, how have you embraced female workers in this insurance company, and how have you prompted in protecting them within their work life?
Okay, I think like all companies,
Yep.
we're looking at how we actually ensure that even in this sector called the insurance, women do also find ways of being leaders, being in the executive, being in all of it.
Yeah.
So I would also start off by saying it's a very, 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 very competitive environment and excluding environment. If I may say, we're probably amongst the only also black insurance company.
Oh, okay.
So we started, when the transformation came in South Africa, a few of the companies came on board, but the compliance issues are so stringent. So we were lucky to survive. It's a cutthroat business. So we start there to just say, just surviving as a black insurance company is a big one. Secondly, we are looking at the interests of primarily of the interests of those in the security cluster, the police, the traffic officers, the security people and all that. But we do open our products also to the public. And in terms of that, if I just look at our board and I look at the executives and some of the CEOs of our subsidiaries, we are very deliberate in ensuring that this industry, firstly, it's a difficult industry. Secondly, it's male-oriented. So we're really trying to have more women coming in. I can tell you that our assurance and insurance subsidiaries are led by women, and that gives us a lot of pride. And if I look at our board, for the first time they're having a chairperson who's a woman, and if I look at the other non-executive directors, we're having a nice balance because of women and men. So we really should be intentional in doing that. Even when we do our internships, we try and get more young women coming on board. We work with institutions such as the IIA, which is the Institute for Assurance and Insurances. They have a program through which they train young people who would develop careers in the insurance, whatever. And when we recruit more women, because we are saying in our own small way, how can we contribute towards balance in the act?
Thank you so much for that. My last question then it's with regards to your development business trust for women. How has this steered the conversation around women being supported, being financed, and being structurally supported within the business sector, and with them starting their own business and actually thriving in their businesses?
You know, the Women's Development Business Trust is a very beautiful story to tell.
Sure.
They've been in existence for about 35 years. And what I like most about that trust is that they identified a niche area, women in rural areas.
Beautiful.
Because the struggle is here, and we're talking about it in urban areas, but if you go to the rural areas, you would realize that there is much, much more that we have to do to include amongst women themselves, to include women in rural areas.
Okay. Those are really, really beautiful stories that you have told, Ma. With this, I say, Bashumi,
Ke bona,
ke bona,
bashumi.
re lebogile.
Ke lebogile kudu ka matla.
Thank you.
About that